morning once again, dear friends, and a great afternoon and a wonderful evening. Aham Brahmasmi and Vasudeka Kutumbakam. In fact, sets the stage so well for the rest of the days. Aham Brahmasmi, so I am the creator, so I have everything inside me. I'm the architect of my life. I create my own reality. Vasudeka Kutumbakam, so then we extend it for everybody. Difference. That's when we start aligning to what we need to do truly. If I if I'm the same as you in that spiritual quotient that we've understood on Monday, that first thing is that you are in me, I am in you. It's not only our family members only. We choose a relationship and come only to have a different levels of learning. So with Aham Brahmasmi, knowing we recognize that, okay, I have everything in me, I have infinite power, I have unlimited potential as a live our life as a creator. That with Vasudeva Kudumukam, the creator cannot destroy at the expense of somebody else. It cannot be doing this thing, anything. Creator recognize the other ones also creators. They can also, if they want to, revolt because we try to we if we do that, then they can also do the same because we recognize that they're also creators. They also have equal, if not more, that energy. It sets us up nicely to understand, dear friends, the transitioning from taking care of ourselves to taking care of others is this aligning to a purpose. Our whole of next week is about service to others is to service to ourselves. But this week, let's understand how do I align to purpose in a way that I'm not only useful to me, but I'm, of course, useful to everybody around. When you align to a purpose, then we become truly happy with ourselves by deriving that happiness either by working for ourselves or for working for others. As meditators, we truly first recognize this Aham Brahmasmi, where we take care of our body, we take care of our mind, we take care of our intellect, we take care of our individual consciousness. All four are taken care. But this one, which is on the side, that universal consciousness, which is Vasudeva Kutumbakam, we take care when we work with others, when we see others inside us. These four are for ourselves, this is for everybody else. And the bridge is understanding and aligning to a purpose. Because there is a meaning and purpose of why we are here. It cannot absolutely be just to learn, educate ourselves, and then just produce some kids and then get them settled and then we retire. That's just not the life at all. If that is the only life, Patriji, when he asked Vani long ago, first meeting, what do you do, madam? I have children and I'm working with the children. Okay, animals are to do that. What's the difference? What is the difference? What are you doing? That's when she understood that there is any amount that you can do. That's just not the life alone. So there is a purpose for all of us, dear friends. So we will try to understand purpose of life, aligning to things that truly give us happiness, truly make us into a, truly help us evolve into a higher, to our higher, to best potential. So it's so fortunate for all of us that gotten together. Thank you, Ramni sir, for this beautiful message. And let's go into our meditation. Relax yourself, dear friend. Sit comfortably. Hope you enjoyed that meditation. And I hope by now some of you may be doing a second time and a third time of some of these meditations, especially in the initial days and then even after, depending on what we are working for. But usually in the initial days, it helps to figure this out. Right? While we're exploring, we want to figure this out. What is really in it? As it helps to practice more, it helps to read more. I very clearly remember, I had done an intense practice of these meditations and reading in the first 6 months that I seriously took to this, which is in 2002 August, to that 6 months. If definitely 2 times meditation every day, and several books in that same period. I'm sure many of you who are doing a second time or third time, there is always a difference, right? The 40 days makes it a habit so that we can easily, at least we don't find it effort to observe the breath. We move beyond that. Initially, we find it effort. We have to put effort to observe the breath. We have to put effort to not comment ourselves that, okay, I'm thinking about it. You will learn to accept that thoughts will be natural. We don't put effort anymore to go to observe the breath because it happens, because we train the brain. But the actual experience of it will slowly happen. Because if it took us 30 years and 40 years to form that personality from which all the thoughts arise, so we got to slowly change, take time to change the personality. It takes time sometimes. Sometimes it is just a realization, instantaneous realization that yes, it makes sense. I'm holding on to all of my these things, but it makes sense that I just this is not the life alone. There is something different. Sometimes it is instantaneous, but sometimes it takes time. So a little more practice will sure help. And then I think this whole working from home is a big boon for everybody because it automatically gives that 1.5 hour time or 1 hour time for people. Dear friends, purpose of life is always a $1 million question. What is my purpose of life? Is there a purpose of life? And we hear that meditation, spiritual practices help us to understand our purpose. And absolutely so. We can easily tell if we just question ourselves. We're not here to just get bounced around from place to place at the whims and fancy of others. It was the initial stage where it's all victimhood, that we always constantly think that life is happening to me. It's just happening. I mean, people are just pushing me here, there, and then things are happening. My fate is written. I have no control. Initial stage of victimhood. As we evolve from the victimhood, we recognize that I think I can make a difference. No, I know that not make a, I know I can fix this problem. Life is happening to me, but then I can fix it. I am very poor, but I think I can fix it. I got to work a little hard. I got to get education so I can fix it. So there is a second stage where we are transitioning, but we still are focused on the problem. That there is only a problem, there is only suffering, but I can fix it. We have that understanding. It comes from a fundamental thinking that there is only a problem, there is only a challenge, there is only suffering. But however, I can fix my suffering, I can fix my challenge. We still didn't have an understanding there. It is still in the victimhood consciousness. The life is still happening to me. But we cut over. When we meditate, when we understand, in the evolution cycle, when introduced to meditation, law of yoga, then we start understanding that we become a creator. Okay, life is not happening to me, life is happening by me. That at any given time, I'm choosing, I'm creating, I have it in my hand. Until the time we come to this understanding, it does not really matter. There is no question of even a purpose. Because where is the question? If we are in an understanding that life is happening to me, not by me, there's no concept of purpose. We probably wouldn't even have this conversation because it does not even appeal, right? If then when you have the consciousness, we deeply believe in it's happening to me, then how can you even appeal that okay, there is a purpose that I can actually go and then take on? It doesn't matter when we are in that consciousness what we do because it's we assume that it is happening by default. So whether it's purpose or not, we don't care. But once we move from a victimhood to a creatorship, as we go into through these satsangs, as we experience that quantum consciousness in our meditation, that we recognize there is something bigger than the body, that we have the ability to create, and then we start questioning. and talking about purpose of life. So clearly from a victimhood and wanting to fix the victimhood. When our attention is on a problem, we continue to create problems. And so we want to continue to fix. We are poor, we say, I can get educated, I can earn money. So you earn money, then we still have continue to have the attention on the problem that I may lose money. Then you lose money, then you fix it again with something else. Somebody will exploit money, and then that happens, you're going to fix with something else. But from there, we move into this creatorship where we recognize that it is in me. I create my reality. So where do I set my attention is where my outer is. So we start changing. So when we have that understanding, then we can fully comprehend and say that everything exists around me has a little purpose or some purpose. The tree exists to give us fruits, to give us shade, to give us oxygen. There is a purpose for the tree. My phone, of course, has a purpose. We know it. We know why we carry it because there is a purpose for this phone. And if so, if there is a purpose for the phone, just this phone that is created out of a factory, then how much purpose should this body have? If this is the most intelligent machine that is ever working, we haven't even discovered a system which can run forever. A system like our heart, which has been running from 3 weeks period to now. There isn't a system. There is always a breakdown. We got to put UPSs, we got to put power, we got to put more backups, and still things break down. But this is not breaking down non-stop. So there is so much intelligence. So if this is such an intelligent machine, then would it not have a purpose? Why is it created? So we start questioning ourselves different. So is there a purpose? And then we have to rightfully come to the conclusion that if a little phone has a purpose, a little lampshade has a purpose of protecting that bigger, brighter light onto your eyes, so there has to be a purpose to a body. And purpose is there. And we start questioning. The purpose of life, when we're talking in the context, dear friends, there is an overarching purpose. There is always an overarching purpose. We may know it, we may not know it. How do you know a company's purpose? If you go and look at the vision and mission of the company's purpose, so the creators of the company, who are the creators of the company? The founders who came together are the creators of the company. The initial employees who came to the creators of the company. So they define a purpose, they write it, they define a mission of what they're going to do to achieve their purpose, they write it. Then they define a whole set of activities which will carry their mission, and then it'll go to meet their purpose. So everything they're defining, who are those? They're nobody other than those who are inside. They are the ones who created it. And then they're living that purpose of that company. It is exact same way. We create a purpose, we come with a plan, and then we're executing to that plan. Now I'm executing a company. Every day I'm not going and saying, what is my overarching purpose? Every day I'm not thinking about it. There instead, I've got a whole set of, to grow from 0 to 1,000, I've got a whole set of activities. What is my quarter one? What is my quarter two? What's my year one? What's my year two? I'm only aligning to that time what it is there for my quarter, that year, isn't it? We're not every time opening the Pandora box and saying 5 years down the line or 10 years down the line, this is what I am. That's not what we start every day with. We do it once in a quarter, maybe we do it once in a year. It is a long time we want to grow. Difference. Our life is also exactly like that. There is a purpose. But then, however, there is an overarching purpose, but we don't worry about that overarching purpose every now and then. If you know reasonably long enough period that what I'm doing, then it is sufficient enough, because we also know that as long as I'm not blindfolded and then reasonably long enough that I know what I'm doing for this year, what I'm doing, then, and if you do really well, if you know what we have to do for this year and we do it really well, then we know that what we have to do for next year automatically aligns, because we know that. So same way, every one of us have a purpose, but there will be an overarching purpose. Know it and don't know it. It is possible to find out, to see where we have written. And if you didn't know it, it is possible to find out. And then understand that that purpose is there, and there is also several steps to reaching it. So we have We're supposed to do what we have to do at every given period. So there is an overarching purpose. And then there are things that we need to do every year, every 2 years, every 3 years, what we need to do. So the purpose of life, there's always something bigger, like a bigger mission, bigger vision for each of us. And then there is a set of things that we have to do. That purpose for every given time to time, it keeps changing for us. Overarching purpose remains the same, but it keeps changing. My overarching purpose in my life could be to help others. My overarching purpose is to be a musician and then only create great music like Pandit Ravi Shankarji. My overarching purpose is to create these great inventions and then create an impact like Einstein. There is an overarching purpose. But within that, from time to time, what we do changes. And it is so important that we align to what to do, because from time to time we know this is what I want to do. And so then we align to it and do it. Then we go and then do the next one and the next one, next one. So what we need to do, a purpose of life for the current moment is changing from time to time. And your purpose is my purpose are different. We know that we all have different purposes. Everybody has a purpose. And then time to time, what we need to do changes. Dalai Lama, let's look at a couple of what people said about purpose. I believe that the very purpose of life is to be happy. From the very core of our being, we desire contentment. In my own limited experience, I have found that the more we care for the happiness of others, the greater is our sense of well being. So, the very purpose of life is to be happy, and then is the purpose. Now, in his understanding, the very purpose of that happiness is comes from caring for others. The more caring that we can give to others, the more sense of well-being we see, and hence the more happy we can become. Now contrast that with a medical doctor, Dr. Deepak Chopra, who is also a great spiritual scientist. When you combine your ability to express your unique talent with service to humanity, then you make full use of the law of dharma, that is living your purpose. So Deepak Chopra is saying, going one step further, again is saying, living your purpose is to service to humanity. And then it goes to an extent to say that you express your unique talent. We all are given our unique talents and abilities. We align to it in a way that you make it, you do service to humanity, and you're making full use of them now. Many say purpose is to serve others. But if you go one step below, if we are here to experience life, there is a non-dual nature and the dual nature of life. There is here to experience life. So some say purpose is to experience life. But if serving others is a purpose, or being happy is a purpose, you see, serving others to being happy. When we are happy, we already learned that we naturally radiate that happiness to everybody else. So when you are happy, then automatically radiate that happiness to others. And when do we be happy? When we can, whatever we do, whatever we experience, we can experience fully in it, immersed in being in it and experience it, then we naturally tend to be happy. And when we are happy, we naturally tend to give to others. So, dear friends, if we can be happy in doing what we are doing, then that happiness has to go to people around. It is the most common basic thing for a human being. When we enjoy a sweet, we love it, we want to immediately share with others. We never keep it to ourselves. So whatever we experience as happiness, we want to share, because that's the nature of this human being, nature of the consciousness. So purpose of life then is to be happy. And then to be happy continuously, in the infinity of experience, we end up doing only one thing, then it gets boring. So learning has to be included in everything we do, because all new experiences start with a new learning. Be happy and then learning, keep learning. Be happy. So we naturally give that happiness to others. If I don't love myself, if I am continuously living in that victimhood, then only thing I can spread is that, the lowness, the low confidence, the poor me attitude. That's all I can spread because that's all I have in me. So happiness starts first by becoming happy. If I have a burning desire, something that has been suppressed in me, if I don't express it, if I don't live it, how can I be happy and then give something to others? So it starts by being happy with ourselves, number one. So be happy. And then when you start with being happy with ourselves, then automatically then you start thinking about somebody else. If there is no oxygen in the flight, first thing you got to do is to pull up the mask and wear for yourself before we can help others. Otherwise, you yourself won't exist. We constantly burn ourselves thinking that it is important to make others happy first. No, other happiness comes only when you're truly happy inside. We collapse very soon and be the cause of suffering of others in the process. So being happy with ourselves, be happy all the time. And then the definition of happiness with ourselves changes. Like Dalai Lama has said, in his understanding, the highest happiness comes when you help others. Or rather, when you continue to help others, then you find yourself to be happy. Absolutely. But does not have to start there. It starts from being happy with ourselves, with what we have, being contented, loving ourselves, experience of the life, experience things that we wanted to have. And the experiences come only when we learn. Learning, knowledge is precursor to the experience. Knowledge is precursor to the experience. We got to be continuously learn. So if we didn't learn, learning without enjoyment or enjoyment without learning both lead to stagnation and boredom, which means unhappiness again. Enjoyment or happiness without learning leads to bonus. Happiness comes from an experience, right? So an experience leads us to enjoyment, leads to happiness. So anytime we do what we do, we always constantly look at what am I learning from this situation. Learning has to be there. We got to learn, we enjoy. We go through the experience of life with an attitude of learning. Every situation is teaching us something. There's no absolute of utility if I'm just learning multiple degrees, one degree after degree after degree after degree, just going through the degrees for the sake of going through the degrees. Just because my family is full of MAs and MBAs and MTechs and double diplomas, triple diplomas, what's the point if you're just going through them just because they are like that? You can learn things like that. You can do anything and then learn, but then you don't enjoy, you miss the point inside. Then you can't sustain that learning and it leads to boredom, total waste. On the other hand, those who are totally lazy around, we don't do any learning, we sit down and then say, okay, I just love this place called Ooty. So I keep going to Ooty every day, every week I go to Ooty, 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 Ooty. I love this movie. I just sit down and watch this movie 100 times. There's zero learning after a second time or a third time or a fourth time. There's no learning anymore. But we are attached to an emotion inside. We're attached to that glamour. We're attached to that vanity. When you're attached to that glamour vanity, what we think is real. So we go on doing it. We go on watching that movie, going to the same thing again and again. Or we give up and resign and then continue to do a job without having any learning. We're in a job, 20 years, we do the same thing every day, morning to evening. We don't apply any skill. And then we just do it and come back. We resign completely from ourselves. Then there's no learning again. So when there's no learning, there's no new experience. When there's no experience, there's no happiness. When there's no happiness, there's nothing that you can give to others. There's no purpose. So dear friends, purpose is to purpose of life starts with finding that happiness and then continues to learn. Finding that happiness inside continues to learn. And then how do we find this? When we are meditating, we are constantly gaining clarity of what gives me that happiness. Constantly gaining clarity. This is what we call listening to the heart. Our mind is constantly staying very short term focused. It is finding the pleasure in the short term enjoyments. It is more environmental driven. It's more influenced by people around it, environment around it. It is illusionary. So my father tells me, hey, you have to settle down. You must get this apartment. You buy this apartment. We just go and then think that, okay, that's what I have to do. And for the next 5 years, the only thing I do is to pay the EMIs. Try to furnish it, do this, do that. And then 5 years are gone just to trying to build an apartment. But deep inside, you have no attachment to it. But all the time, you've been cutting yourself down until the last penny swipe off every month and then put it towards this. 5 years are gone, wasted. You may actually wanting to go around travel. You wanted to probably educate yourself in that particular technology you loved or that particular science you liked it, or you wanted to deep inside help somebody that that money would have actually given you some freedom to travel or freedom to contribute. But then we just squeeze ourselves, and then only thing we do because somebody told us, so we're doing it. Then mind decision. We don't think, is it really going to give me happiness or not? But the heart is decision. When you are listening to your feelings, we are able to understand, is it gives me happiness or not give me happiness. So listening to mind, heart over mind, which is possible only through meditation, different. Only when we drop the mind, then our feelings are more higher. I had two options when I was when my company was getting acquired at IBM. Two options. A typical mindset of me was telling that yes, you're getting acquired now, Chandra, so you've got this great opportunity, you're going to make some money, go and start the next one because people will be definitely behind you. Because you're successful with an IT venture, then naturally, right, there'll be funding will be available if you want to invest. There's no dearth of ideas. We know that infinity of creativity. There are any ways you can succeed. So there is one part of me that is telling me. But something, when we are tuned in, when we are aligning to, when we are listening into ourselves, when we quiet our mind, one fine day when I was driving around in New York in this process, sometime in 2016, it was my true intent towards the end of this acquisition that within 3 to 6 months, in fact, I was even framing how to negotiate and say that they're going to let me go in 6 months so that I can go and then do something else. Deep inside, I always wanted to service though. But then there's part of me, my technology's brain is saying there's still a lot of opportunity. Why can't you do that? But then, to my great surprise, as until then, my mission was to get my company acquired. I was truly, truly working so many hours for the preceding 3 years. Only mission was to get my company acquired because I had a larger understanding that with a credible, successful experience of a business, that I would go and then teach meditation, which is my overarching goal that I had. So I was a mission, properly focused. And then somewhere I was getting carried away to say we should start the next one because this is real. And during this period where I was driving around, going from meeting to meeting, things started coming into my mind that what are you going to do now? What you going to do? And then these things started reinforcing and saying, hey, look what, you're going into this company called IBM. If you really want to teach to the world leaders or business leaders, and this is a great company, you must find a way to teach here before you think of doing something else. And then second day it reinforced, third day it comes in a different form, different vision. And then in about 2 weeks, it was very clear to me that I wouldn't want to leave this company. In fact, I was actually entering negotiations in that mode, but I didn't want to leave the company because it became, as it was, that information is coming to me every day in some way or the other, in some form or the other. It said, you should be teaching meditation to the business leaders. I was not even thinking that thought of me staying back in this company and then introduce meditation, teach meditation, is not occurring to me at all. All along, I was thinking that I should come out, I'll have enough money, so probably do a non-profit like this Buddhasya Foundation that came out now, nearly after 4 years of that thought. But I had to do something else before I came in to come out and then directly do a non-profit. That something else was these are my purpose at that point, which I didn't even think about it. But when you're open, dear friends, we're always listening to a heart. When we are becoming empty, we listen to a heart, automatically things come to us. It slowly develops. It develops as a greater feeling, and more. We gain the confidence that yes, I want to do this for the next few years. So listening to our heart over mind is only possible when we silence the mind. And that is plenty of meditation. We are always getting insight, we're always getting intuition, we're always getting clues of what gives me happiness. Stand up in front of your mirror in the bathroom every day and ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing? And there is something that's coming to always. Now, when we're not clear, dear friends, then we can also understand the Japanese way of going into a flow to reveal, understand this purpose, which we'll learn on Friday. Purpose of life is there for us at any given moment. There is something that is destined to do, we are designed to do, a plan to do. And if we can align to it, we become so passionate about it that we wake up in the morning, we say, yes, this is excites me, this drives me. Then we align to it. One is by listening to our heart. And meditation is a greatly helping us. For a few days to few weeks, if you keep listening, you keep questioning yourself, ask that question, we have to get that answer. And then those where we're not clear, we still can achieve the purpose by doing always something new, jumping and doing something new, and then going into the flow of it. There are two ways. You look for a clue directly that deep inside, and then while that's not happened, you jump in and then start doing something, so that and then try to align yourself into the flow to see if it's good. If not, the next one. There is both have to meet. So you'll understand that part on Friday. Thank you all for staying through and trying to understand this concept of what is purpose of life. Always great to try to understand this more. Karthikeyan sir had talked about purpose of life in comprehensively, and his life is full. I mean, if you listen to his various experiences, his life has been full. And then Sar says always he lived a purpose every given time. That is because he was continuously been aligned and passionate about it in whatever he did. Sir, any of your closing comments?
Beautiful, Chandra. Beautiful day. We started well with a comment from Dr. Ramani, and this meditation was beautiful. And that is the purpose of life. You live the purpose, what you learned, what you earned, what you gained, and want to sharing it with others. That is the purpose of life. I always tell you, at the end of the meditation, most of us go into trance. So everybody would like to maintain it for a longer time. And I personally feel I understand your intention, but many of the meditators they would like to maintain that same um, elevated mood feelings. Now they will neither be in a mood to listen to me, nor will they be happy. And I don't like to disturb them and also disturb my own mood. I do hope we understand. I think what you have done today is ideal. You ask somebody to speak wonderful in the morning, beginning, or, some other day or something. At the end of a long, beautiful meditation, it's difficult to speak, and I can understand how others will feel. They will not be happy to any long conversation. At least that's what I feel. Great meditation. Thank you very much. I sent a message to you yesterday again. The day I was a board meeting of Star Health, I spoke about this, and they're all highly placed people, and one important director based in Los Angeles sent a message to me asking for more details about meditation. So I have sent it to him. Yesterday we had another board meeting, another beautiful organization called Roots Industries, headed by another brilliant man, a self-made person, and his products are valued all over the world actually. Starting with only a motor horn, it's called Roots horn, both in Germany, America, and all that, because he's a great innovator. And yesterday I took the liberty to talk to them about this at length. So they're all interested. I think I sent a message to you. They would like to, yes, they would like to join, learn, at least over 100 of the executives straight away. And they prefer a morning meditation. Whenever we do it next time, they will join. And there 3 to 4 thousand workers, they will join a Tamil program sometime when we do it in the evening. So let us spread this knowledge and this joy. What is the purpose of life? Yes. The purpose of life is to be happy, healthy, and then spread it to as many as possible. That is the purpose of life. Let us keep doing it. Thank you.
Sir, thank you, sir. That's great news. I, I couldn't. I was just totally tied up and I couldn't check the mail, sir. So I will actually go and check it. Wonderful news to hear. This morning you gave what a great gift to say that so many executives will join, or the 4,000 employees you're saying will actually be part of this. And for the first one, we are working on, sir, after your mail last week, working on collecting as many health professionals, doctors' experiences. I believe we've gotten more, and we're just compiling it in a way that's easily consumable. So Arvind and team are working on it. So we'll be sending that to you hopefully by today, sir, for Star Health, whatever that we said. Share that information. Yes, sir, it's there. Thank you so much. That's so wonderful to know that Roots Industries will join these programs and wanting to explore meditation. This is real power, sir. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all, dear friends. It's great to have you. And I will meet back tomorrow. Tomorrow we will share. It'll be our not final. We'll have one more breakout, but it's near final breakouts. So it is a great way to experience, jot down our experiences because we record them and those will go up as an inspiration to somebody else. With 5 weeks of meditation experiences, I'm sure you would have something or the other to share. So there'll be a wonderful way to share tomorrow in our breakout rooms with the facilitators. So thank you all and have a great day. We'll meet you back tomorrow again. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, okay. Just a minute. I just forgot. Sorry. Uh, Master Chandra, good morning, everybody here. So once I messaged you regarding my intention of translating the everyday talk, everyday discourses into Marathi. I have started it. Only one day I could do it. I had done it. I mean, I want to do all the 40 days, this session particularly. And I want some support. I felt that I'm not expert into, I mean, this is the first time I'm doing and I want to do it. Okay. So what I've done, I have written down whatever you're speaking into English is the first step I have done. I'll be doing that in Marathi, writing in Marathi. I'll be taking some support. And then I want to have this available audio in, I mean, so I thought, let me talk to you today and take support. Just thinking and doing it alone, I mean, very slow. So what do you suggest? Can you suggest?
Join our team. Wonderful. Yes, it should be available, and you are the person to do it. So join our team. So whatever support you need, be part of the team.
Okay.
The whole setup as a meeting regularly, so you can be part of this. So whatever that is required, as you discuss. I mean, there's Veena who is looking after content. There are some of these folks are doing a program, their newsletters. So not sure what you need, but as we discussed, then and if you perhaps need some extra hands, so anybody who is speaking Marathi and then who wants to join you, that's a
Okay.
call. That's a direct call right now as you are announcing, as you're talking about it. I'm announcing to others too, right? Anyone who has Marathi language, and if you need some help, so that is another thing that we can ask. But it's great. We have Makrand ji, who is from Bombay. I think he's writing down some of these in English. And so maybe it can avoid your need to write it down because you're already doing it, and then you could directly take that and then translate.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay.
Makan Kalyankar, you can
So,
reach out to him. He's there, is doing it for sure.
so how to join this team? I mean, I don't know.
Just Koti or somebody will get in touch with you, sir. Okay.
Okay, please. Okay, okay. Thank you. Even today's talk was so beautiful. I mean, every day I get connected to my life and the people around me, and beautiful, beautiful Chandra sir. I mean, I don't. It should be earliest. It should be available to many people. So I have my people, but the limitation is language. So I thought the thought came to my mind. I think I can start this initiative.
Absolutely. Let's do it, sir. You are a technologist, so you can absolutely talk about science, and I mean even otherwise you can talk about science. We have passion and interest. So many things it comes naturally. So please do it. We'll come back. We'll meet. Yes, interact.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Namaste. Namaste. Thank you.
So we have MTM.
Sir, good morning. This question of who am I? Can you throw some light on that, sir?
Sir, we have to read. We have to practice meditation. That is all to it. And this who am I? That infinity that we are trying to experience every day in meditation. If that is infinity, and we are talking about that who am I in many many ways, right? Every day. That there is an unpredictable feel, this non-dual nature of ourselves, that what we think matter is unreal, it's illusionary. So who am I? So, and then there is this consciousness that is always there evolving.
Okay, sir. I'll practice the meditation
So
continuously.
I'm saying if we read, we have to read. We have to read life beyond life, life between lives. We have to read books of whether it's Peter Richelieu, Dolores Cannon, or just autobiography of Yogi, many of our Indian Swami Dayanand Saraswati, many of these Indian or Western masters, we must read all of them to understand that there is life continuity, and then to understand that everything we experience is illusionary, imaginary, that is being created out of energy. So what is the point in attaching ourselves to it? So when we understand this whole life perspective, then we understand that we are much larger than the body, right? So who am I is something that you have to question yourself to say who are you, because who are you is different from who am I. You want to experience something different, very different from something I'm experiencing. And so the who am I starts from where do I come from? What did I do in the past? Why am I thinking that I want to do service? Why am I thinking that I want to do this job? And all of these have to be questioned. And then meditation is an answer. For everything, there is an answer. All right. Thank you, friends. I need to log off at 8 o'clock. So we'll meet back again tomorrow. Thank you all. It's wonderful. And have a great day.